little awkward, isn't it?
I know.
Welcome back, everybody, to ROC Movie Reviews. As we stated in our Man of Steel review, Jake and I will be talking about the very divisive and originally very anticipated DCEU film, Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice.
The greatest gladiator match in the history of the world. God versus man. Day versus night.
You're psychotic.
That is a three-syllable word for any thought too big for little minds.
I've known a few women like you.
Oh, I don't think you've ever known a woman like me.
You know the oldest lie in America? That power can be innocent.
Okay, so I've got a lot of thoughts about this movie. Man of Steel, I had quite a bit of thoughts about too, but this movie,
I do too, but probably a little less than you.
a little less.
Yeah.
So this movie I saw at a midnight screening. It's a 2.5-hour movie to begin with, so it was very long. And it started out really good, and I was pleasantly surprised. But there's a point in probably about maybe the hour and a half, 2-hour mark, where I was like, ooh, and I just started to see a lot of issues and a lot of things that weren't working for me. And they kind of all culminated into this finale that really gave me a mix of emotions. I was like, oh, that was cool, but why the heck did they do that? You know? So, yeah, this movie, I'm so conflicted on it. It's a very simple plot. We'll just run through that real quick. It's Batman and Superman being pitted against each other by Lex Luthor, played by Jesse Eisenberg. Lex Luthor's son, actually, is what he was supposed to be. At the time, I didn't know that. I thought he was just supposed to be Lex Luthor.
Yeah, and he did not look like Lex Luthor at all.
No, he's supposed to be bald.
Yeah.
They fixed that towards the end, but it was very confusing. It just seemed like he was just being Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah, and also I think Lex was supposed to be a little older than Jesse Eisenberg.
He is. Yeah, he didn't really fit the bill of the character.
Nah.
No. So, on top of pitting Batman and Superman against each other, and Lex Luthor being a prominent force in the movie, you've also got the introduction of Wonder Woman, and the fact that the DCU was trying to bring in the Justice League.
Yeah.
That really hurt the movie, and we're gonna get into that. So, talked about the plot. Performance-wise, we have Ben Affleck as the new Batman. This is actually one of the few bright spots of the film for me. I think Ben Affleck is a good Batman.
I mean, for me, he's an okay Batman. I mean, his voice is better than Christian Bale's, but that's pretty much about it. Other than that, I kind of thought he was kind of plain.
Bland, flat.
Yeah.
Fair, totally fair. I liked his voice, but you're right. Compared to Christian Bale, I was like, what is he bringing to the table that hasn't already been brought?
Yeah.
So, but I gotta say, he was one of the bright spots in the movie for me, and I really enjoyed him, because I was expecting him to be really bad.
Yeah.
And he ended up surprising me. Somebody I can't say the same for, which I really liked in Man of Steel, was Henry Cavill as Clark Kent Superman. He's flat. He is flat in this movie, and I know he did the best job he could with the material he was given, but I don't know. Like, I just felt like he was brooding, and he was like, he had nothing to him in this movie.
Yeah.
Besides wanting to, be with Lois and everything, but he doesn't even fully know why he's fighting Batman.
Nah.
And, well, that fight that we finally get to, what is it, like, almost at the end of the movie?
Yeah.
It was cool. It was about 10 minutes long or something, 8 to 10. It was cool and very intense and surprisingly very violent. But the fact that we waited for that fight so much longer in the movie and then it finally happened,
Yeah.
by that time, it had shifted for me and I was like, oh, yikes. I was just seeing all of its flaws.
Yeah.
And there's a lot. Amy Adams, Lois Lane, not given nearly as much to do here
No.
as in Man of Steel. She's fine. However, I will say she makes some really stupid decisions. Namely, when she throws the kryptonite spear away
Yeah.
and then realizes, oh, I need to go get that.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of movies always have to have that one dumb person that makes dumb decisions.
And I didn't want it to be her because I was like, you were really smart in Man of Steel and you didn't make any of these dumb decisions. And now it's like, why were you written this way, you know?
Yeah.
So I just feel like she was kind of underutilized, and didn't she almost get crushed just having to go back for the staff?
I think so, yeah.
So she endangered herself, then had to have Superman save her. That's the other thing. She is more of a Mary Sue in this. No, sorry, not Mary Sue. She is a damsel in distress.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't like Mary Sue is not the right term.
No.
No, that's
The complete opposite.
Yeah, you were gonna Ray in Star
Yeah.
Wars. Yeah, sorry. Complete opposite. I get those terms mixed up. But she was. She didn't have to be in the movie, and I would have been okay. But because her connection with Superman, obviously she's got to be in the movie.
Yeah.
So, that's about it for her. Diane Lane's back as Clark's mom. Again, she's given even less to do. However, the scene she has, like when she gets kidnapped by Luther's goons.
Yeah.
I thought she did fine with the material she was given. She didn't have much screen time, but she had some good one-liners.
True.
She has some good one-liners, and that's one thing I can't say about Amy Adams. Lawrence Fishburne's character from Man of Steel makes a very brief appearance, but it's only in scenes with Clark Kent.
Yeah.
I didn't even need him in the movie.
Yeah.
He didn't have to be there. It just felt like, oh, this person's related to Man of Steel, so we need to have him in the movie. And I don't really feel like that was true.
Yeah.
So, let's see, what else?
I think there was also Wonder Woman in there, but only
Right.
for like 20 minutes.
Right, sorry, Gal Gadot. So, she actually left a really good impression on me, but I felt like they tried to fit her in really sloppily, and I was
Yeah.
like, what? Really?
Like they almost kind of like shoved her in there.
Yeah, so she was just kind of inserted, and I was like, she's cool. She's a cool character, and she's super badass. The
Yeah.
her fight scenes in the end of the film are awesome. That's one of the positives I can say.
Yeah.
But her character is pretty forcibly put into the movie, and it's supposed to set up the Justice League. Didn't work for me.
Yeah.
Didn't work for me at all. When he goes on the computer and he looks up all the folders with the logos on it,
Yeah.
like, what? And then the future Flash image that Ben Affleck's Batman has.
Yeah.
Just ridiculous and stupid. And what was with that dream sequence with all those flying things?
I have no idea.
I still don't know. It was a cool scene, but I had no idea why he was in the movie. I'm like, what is happening? I went to use the bathroom, I remember. Came back in and I asked Chris, I said, did I miss something?
And she said nothing.
She said, no, but this kind of just happened. I'm not really sure what's going on. She didn't really know what was going on either.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just, you know, it's just a little bit draining when I talk about that scene because I'm like, why? I'm still so confused.
Yeah.
And we have to talk about Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
I like him as an actor. I think he was miscast.
Yeah.
I think he's way too over the top. He's way too zany. And that scene with him and his hench dude and the Jolly Ranchers, like,
Yeah.
what? That's become a meme.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. He is a good actor, even though I know he's in The Social Network, which I haven't seen, but
Oh, he's
really
great.
want to.
He's great. It's a fantastic
But-
movie.
Well, not only was his acting poor in this movie, but he didn't even look like a Lex Luthor.
He did not. No, you're very, very, very true on that one. He did not look like Lex Luthor at all. Shaved his head at the end, but that was kind of like too little, too late.
Yeah.
And the whole thing with you put Doomsday into it, where he like finds Zod and gets Zod's blood and like creates Doomsday. That didn't even need to be in the movie.
No.
We already had Batman and Superman fighting each other, and then they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, your mom's name was Martha. Martha, you know it's a meme."
Why did you say that name?
Oh my god, that was the moment where I was like, "Oh, this is pretty bad."
Yeah, like I would think they would realize that maybe their mothers probably have the same name as each other.
But why Batman said, "Oh, I guess we're cool now. We won't fight anymore." It made absolutely no sense.
Yeah.
It wasn't natural. And then they're like, "Okay, let's go fight this other thing." And now we're buddies, I guess.
I know.
It was dumb. Oh my god, it was so dumb. That's probably my biggest problem with the movie is the Martha scene.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, it makes my brain hurt thinking about it. Oh god. So, I guess we should talk about the effects and the action, the cinematography. I thought Man of Steel was CGI heavy.
Yeah.
This movie is a whirlwind of just CGI effects. I don't know if any of it was practical.
Same.
It looks cool, but at a certain point, you need more than that in a movie.
Yeah.
And it just didn't have it. It was all style and no substance.
Yep.
That's what this movie was. That's the best way I can put it. The action was fun. I liked the warehouse fight. I liked some of the action with Batman's Batmobile. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But the fight itself was it was a highlight. But the actual end fight with Doomsday, ridiculous on the CGI.
It was almost like over the top, honestly.
Like what you couldn't even tell really what was happening.
No.
And a lot of it was green screen, so it was like, am I supposed to be invested in any of these characters right now? Because they're all just on like a green screen.
Yeah.
So, that's all I have to say about cinematography. It's a good-looking movie, but it is style over substance, and I feel like where Man of Steel wasn't just style over substance, this movie absolutely was.
Yeah.
And I have a real problem with that. The music, which I believe Hans Zimmer did with Junkie XL, another composer I really like. He did Mad Max Fury Road. I love that score. That score is amazing. It kind of worked for me at times, and then it didn't, and I was like, this is a little bit odd.
Yeah.
So I would say I half enjoyed the music in Batman v Superman. Some of it really worked for me, like the opening scene where you see his parents being killed. That was really emotional. It was done very stylistically, and that was cool. Unfortunately, after that, and after the whole scene where Batman tries to rescue his boss from during all that carnage, after that, I started to be like, oh, this is a really grim, gloomy, and not very fun movie.
Yeah.
Way too political, too. Like, way too political. So, anyway, just like the cinematography and the effects, the music was standard for me. I felt like some of it worked, and some of it really missed it.
Yeah, same.
So,
And, I mean, I can't believe I say this, but I saw this opening day.
you did. You saw it opening day, and I saw it opening night. Or we saw it around the same time.
Yeah.
But we didn't see it together.
No, I went to Regal. Where did you go?
I went to Barnsley in Barron.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it was, we didn't go to the same theater.
Yeah.
I'm done talking about this movie because, as much of it really, I like going back and revisiting scenes, a good portion of it is very, very heavy on flaws.
Yeah.
I like the 3-hour cut much more. The ultimate cut, it is much better than the theatrical cut. It still doesn't make the movie a ton better,
Yeah.
but if you're going to watch a cut of the film and you've never seen it, watch the 3-hour. Just set aside 3 hours and watch it. That's it. That's the last nail in the coffin. I'm going to give Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice a very middle of the road, generous 5 out of 10. Yeah.
I'm giving this movie a 3. It's definitely one of the worst opening day experiences I've ever had.
It wasn't really that bad. Did your mom not enjoy it either?
My mother didn't mind it. I did not.
Was she kind of just like meh when
She
you
was
got-
all like, well, that wasn't too bad. I'm like, really?
Oh, so you kind of differing opinions.
Like,
Yeah, no, that makes sense. So, 5 out of 10 from me, generous.
3.
3 out of 10 from Jake. Batman v Superman, if you haven't watched it, watch the 3-hour cut. But otherwise, I'd say you could just skip this because both Henry Cavill's Superman, which is probably not coming back,
Yeah.
and Ben Affleck's no longer Batman, there's not much you're really going to need to see in Batman v Superman. It's kind of been forgotten about in the DCU, and it's kind of sad considering it was like the film that was supposed to set up this big universe.
Yeah.
And in actuality, they had a lot of bumps along the way, and it didn't really do that.
Same.
And again, this movie was setting up for Justice League, a movie that we'll be talking about in a different video.
Yep.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
So that's it. I think we don't need to talk about it anymore. Batman v Superman. If you haven't seen it, maybe you'll enjoy it. But I think this is a very divisive movie, and as you can see, I enjoyed it more than he did.
Yeah.
But we both had a lot of issues with it. So
I mean,
that's,
I
that's
personally
it.
wouldn't recommend it.
I don't know if I'd recommend it either. I'd say that there's good to be had and there's fun to be had, but you could certainly watch better films
Oh,
than
yeah.
DCEU. This is I don't know if this is my least favorite, but it's very low on the list.
It's my least favorite DC.
It's your least favorite?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bling, and I haven't seen like all the DC movies even before the DCEU.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's just my opinion. So I really shouldn't probably like say that.
No,
but
you could say it. I mean, you've seen the movie, and even if you haven't seen it in a while, you remember a lot about the movie because it had so many glaring errors about it.
all I remember was that Ben Affleck was just a stale Batman. Henry Cavill was okay. Wonder Woman was pretty badass, and pretty much that's about it.
Yeah. So not a movie that's going to stick in your mind much longer after the credits roll. So
No.
that's our thoughts on Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice.
Yep.
And we'll be back to talk about Suicide Squad
Oh yeah.
in the next video. So we'll see you then.
Yeah. See ya.